Hello and welcome to Joe Marquis Wagers. I am Joe Marquis. Today is Saturday, November 11th, 2023, and I want to start off by thanking all of our veterans for their service with a special shout out to my son, who is an active duty Marine. Thanks for your service, son. I did pretty well on Thursday's game between the Panthers and the Bears. I made 7 wagers and I went 4-2-1. I'll go into more of a breakdown on this game and my wagers in my Tuesday summary video. The first game on the docket is the Indianapolis Colts and New England Patriots in Germany. This line opened with the Colts as 1.5 point favorites with a game total of 43.5 points. This is the last overseas game of the year. I know there are some people out there who don't like these games because they like to sleep in on Sundays. I personally love them. It's an additional standalone game I get to focus on. This matchup is not quite as spicy as last week's Chiefs and Dolphins game, though. Both of these teams are under 500. Both teams traveled over on Thursday evening, so no advantage there for either one. I just think the Colts are playing better right now than the struggling Patriots, so I'm going to take the Colts to cover the 1.5 point spread. We also had some success last week with the Hunter Henry receiving props. The reception prop is only set at 2.5 receptions, but it's at minus 200, so I'm going to pass on that one. There just isn't any value. I am going to play his receiving yardage prop, though, which is set at 30.5 yards. I'm also going to play Ramondre Stevenson to have 3.5 receptions. The Patriots just don't have any wide receivers who consistently get separation, so I think Max is going to have to dump this ball down to Stevenson a few times in the game. I also don't trust the Patriots to score a lot of points. They're traveling across the country and have only scored 17 points in each of their last 2 games. So I'm going to play them to go under their team total of 20.5. Next game is Houston Texans at Cincinnati Bengals. Line opened with the Bengals favored by 6.5 and a game total of 46.5 points. The Texans have 3 impressive wins in their last 5 games over the Steelers, Saints, and Bucks. All 3 of those were at home. Their other 2 games in that stretch were losses to the Panthers and the Falcons. Those were on the road. This game is on the road. I'm noticing a trend. I'm going to take the red-hot Bengals to cover this spread of 6.5. Higgins has been ruled out of this game, and Chase is questionable. I tried to find receiving props for Boyd and Irwin, but neither FanDuel nor DraftKings had any Bengal receiving props set as of yet. I think they're waiting to find out if Chase plays. If Chase is ruled out and they finally list him, and they are reasonable, I'm going to play Boyd and Irwin on both the reception and yardage props. I might even play him if Chase does play, assuming there's value, because there's a good chance both of them are going to get some catches with Higgins for sure out. And then, like I said, maybe Chase as well. Next game is New Orleans Saints at Minnesota Vikings. The line opened with the Saints as 2.5 point favorites and a game total of 41. The Vikings have won 4 in a row. If Cousins were playing, this would be a no-brainer to take the Vikings. There's just too many unknowns to take a side or the total in this one. The only prop I like is Taysom Hill to go over his rushing props of 23.5. It's funny because it's like double what it was last week, but it's still reasonable for me. The Saints have been using him a lot lately in short yardage and in the red zone. He had 50 rushing yards. I think it was just over 50 rushing yards last week. I might play his anytime touchdown prop as well. I haven't decided. If this is something you're interested in, though, make sure and shop around. DraftKings had it at plus 170 and FanDuel had it at plus 210. That's a pretty big difference. The next game is Green Bay Packers at Pittsburgh Steelers. This line opened with the Steelers as 3-point favorites and a game total of 37.5 points. Steelers are coming off 10 days rest and are playing at home. I like the Steelers in this situation, but I'm going to buy it down to 2.5 just because I'm a little conservative, and I really wish I had done this on Thursday night with my Bears play. I ended up pushing on that because I went ahead and played the 3, and that's what it ended up being. So I'm going to buy it down to 2.5. I was interested in the Jordan Love interception prop, but there's no value at minus 188. Instead, I'm going to play TJ Watt to have a sack. The The next game is Tennessee Titans at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This line opened with the Bucs as 1.5-point favorites and a game total of 38.5. The Bucs have lost 4 in a row. Titans have lost 3 of 4. I'm leaning towards the Titan with Levis at QB, but I'm going to stay away from the side and the total. I'm going to stick with what works, and I'm going to play both receiving props for Rachaad White at 3.5 receptions and 25.5 yards. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that the Bucs use this short passing game to White as an alternative to their run game. These two props have hit in their last 3 games, and they're still reasonably priced. I'm also going to play DeAndre Hopkins receptions prop of 4.5 receptions. He and Levis seem to have a real connection already, with Hopkins being his favorite target in both of his starts. The next game is San Francisco 49ers at Jacksonville Jaguars. The line opened with the Niners as 3-point favorites on the road and a game total of 44.5. Now the Jags have won 5 in a row. Niners have lost 3 games in a row. Both teams are coming off a bye. I lean towards the Jags and the 3 at home, but too many moving parts for me, and I'm just going to stay away from this one. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to watch it. I'm just not going to put any money on it. Next game, Cleveland Browns at Baltimore Ravens. The line opened with the Ravens as 6-point favorites and a game total of 37.5 points. The Ravens have won 4 in a row. The Browns have won 3 of 4. I lean towards the Ravens, but this is a lot of points for a divisional matchup. These teams know each other so well that I'm going to stay away from this one as well. Next game is Atlanta Falcons at Arizona Cardinals. This line opened with the Falcons as 1.5-point favorites and a game total of 43 points. The Cardinals have been struggling of late, but they are scheduled to get both Kyler Murray and James Conner back in this game. The Falcons have lost 3 of 5. I'm going to take the Cardinals to cover the 2 points at home. Both teams are going to want to run the ball in this game. The Falcons to protect their young QB Heineke, and the Cardinals to protect Kyler coming off that ACL injury. So I'm also going to play both star running backs to exceed their rushing props. Bijan Robinson's prop is set at 55.5, and James Conner's is set at 52.5 rush yards. The next game is the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. The line opened with the Cowboys as 16.5-point favorites with a game total of 38.5. The Cowboys have won their last 11 games at home. The Giants have lost 4 of 5 and will be playing their 3rd-string QB. The line has since moved to 17.5 points. I expect this game to be a blowout, but that's a lot of points. I won't be surprised if the Cowboys cover this, but instead of the side, I'm going to play the Cowboys team total of 27 points. That's just 4 touchdowns. This is my largest wager of the weekend. The next game is Detroit Lions at Los Angeles Chargers. The line opened with the Lions as 1.5-point favorites and a game total of 48.5. The line has moved to the Lions favored by 3. The Lions have won 4 of 5. The Chargers have won their last 2. I'm leaning towards the Chargers at +3, but I'm going to stay away from the side. I've had some success with rookie tight end Sam Laporta in the past, so I dug into this a little bit. Here's what the last 3 tight ends have done to the Chargers. Conklin, 6 catches, 66 yards. Cole Kmet, 10 catches, 79 yards. Travis Kelce, 12 catches, 179 yards. Yeah, I like Laporta's props of 4.5 receptions and 50.5 yards. I also thought about playing a prop for Gibbs, but Montgomery is going to be back, and I'm not sure how the running back splits are going to go in this one. The next game is Washington Commanders at Seattle Seahawks. This line opened with the Seahawks as 6-point favorites and a game total of 45.5. The Seahawks were embarrassed last week against the Ravens. Now they're at home against a team that is under 500. This is a perfect bounce-back opportunity for the Seahawks. I'm going to play them to cover the 6-point spread. Another interesting play in this one is for Boye Mafe to record a sack. Sam Howell has been sacked more than any other QB so far this year, and it isn't even close. He's been sacked 44 times. The next closest is Zach Wilson, who's been sacked just 31 times. So I like that play. If you could just get like a team total for sacks, that would be a good play too. I couldn't find it, so I just went with the the most likely defensive lineman for Seattle to get a sack. The next game is New York Jets at Las Vegas Raiders. The line opened with the Jets favored by 1.5 points and a game total of 37 points. I was surprised to see the Jets favored here on the road, especially after seeing how the Raiders played last week after they fired their coach. I think the boost the Raiders got last week after firing McDaniels carries over at least one more week, and the Raiders win this game. I'm going to take them on the money line. One of the reasons I like the Raiders is that their interim coach is actually dedicated to running the ball. Last week, Josh Jacobs rushed the ball 26 times for 98 yards. I'm going to play Jacobs to go over his rush attempts prop of 18.5. All right, that is it for the Sunday slate of games. I have a total of 21 straight wagers. Like always, I went ahead and played all of them in a parlay. Apparently the odds were so high on this that it has to be reviewed by someone at DraftKings. I have never seen that before, but I guess when it comes in at plus 6 million, it raises some eyebrows. I'm obviously not recommending that anyone play this parlay with any expectation of winning. I just think it's fun. I only play for $1 or I use a free bet token. So just something fun. And if it ever gets close, then I'm sure it'll get my heart rate up. I will post a video on Monday for the Monday night game that will see the Denver Broncos visit the Buffalo Bills. Like always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and share on all of your social media. And good luck to everyone tomorrow. Have a great one.